it's week 3 of listening to a complete album I've never listened to before. Let's see what today is. I'm about to go on a long drive, so I figure it's perfect to listen to an album. This week's album is Ants From Up There by Black Country New Road. Let's see what it's all about. Hello, I just finished listening to Ants From Up There by Black Road New Country? Shit, I'm so sorry. I'm in the car, and so I can't really look at things, except for the road. I really like this album. I think it sort of defied a lot of genre, which was really cool. I guess if I had to describe it, I would describe it as like an experimental, atmospheric rock. I listened to the Deluxe album, and so it was 2 discs. And the second one was all instrumental, which was really cool. And it wasn't the same as the first one, but this one had different songs on each. There was some overlap, so it was cool to hear the difference between those. I really loved how this band played with sound, with different instruments, like especially in Introduction and Opus. They really had a lot of like new things that they were doing with the instrument, and I thought that was really fun. They also had a lot of really long songs, which I love long songs. The one thing I will say though is that these long songs, sometimes it felt like they were multiple songs sort of like put together, like matched together with like interludes in between. And I love it when a long song like takes me on a journey. I think the longest song on this album was Basketball Shoes, and it was like 13 minutes long, which is really cool. But there were like moments of silence, and so I wasn't sure if it was the same song continuing or not, and then it sort of didn't have all of the same motifs throughout, and so it was hard to tell if it was the same song or not. I think that my favorite songs are Snow Globes and Instrumental. Instrumental was one from each album, one from each disc, so Snow Globes was from the first disc and Instrumental was from the second. They were both really cool. The way they played with sound and the vocals. The vocals were another thing. They were so raw, and like I love it when you can tell that like this hasn't been like auto-tuned or anything. This is literally just the vocals as another instrument being played like fully, and just singing so raw and powerful. Sometimes the intros were really long and quiet, and so I couldn't really tell if the song had started or not until like a minute in. So like with those long songs, you do want a nice introduction, but at the same time you want to know that the song has started. And so if you're like 40 seconds in and you've only heard like a little, you know, one little cymbal, then that's not always it. The first disc is more of a heart-wrenching sort of ebb and flow, and sort of you're like moving with it. And then the second, it felt more like the songs that weren't repeated. The second disc felt more like spooky. I don't know if that's like the right word, like anxiety inducing, if that makes sense. Just the way that they're playing with the sounds, like they're very, very able to like induce an emotion. I keep looking at my GPS as though I don't have more than 100 kilometers until my next turn. Yes, I definitely recommend this album. It was really a lot of fun. It's sort of, you're in an atmospheric vibe where you want some long songs. This was the way to go. Snow Globes and Instrumental being my favorite. Opus and Bread Song also really getting up there. I really also liked the drums in Good Will Hunting. That was cool. Bread Song was a particular one that sort of like built and ebbed and flowed. It sort of it felt like it was working towards an explosion, but then it sort of just like died away, and it kind of left you like longing for more of the song, even though it was already kind of a long song. And you know, that was a 2-hour long double disc album, and I still have a few more hours left in this drive. So thanks for coming along this journey with me.